Thanks, Paul. Good morning. Welcome. Kick off a Big Ten play. It's exciting times and nice coming into it with a win. Rewinding our players of the week, Drake Anderson was obviously our offensive player of the week. He had a great first game. Very proud of him. Like I said after the game, he's had a great offseason and is prepared for his opportunity. He took full advantage of it. J.J. Jefferson was our big playmaker. He could have had a huge game. A couple of untimely drops, but the big double move was a big play in the game. Joe Gaziano, just stat line I don't have enough time to mention, but just a consistent guy, an all Big Ten level performer, and it showed on Saturday. A great strip sack that was a big play in the game. And then Travis Willock was our big playmaker. He only gets credit with one fumble recovery, but actually he got two because his high school teammate got his lips knocked off, Patty Fisher, when he intercepted that ball. So I think he should get credit for two, but stats are for losers. And Charlie Kubander was our special teams player of the week. What a great bounce back game for Charlie. It had been a long road for him coming back off of injury, and to go 3 for 3, really proud of him. Jason Whitaker on offense, Coco Azima on defense, and Marcus Cisco in special teams were our practice players of the week. And I want to make a special mention of Marcus. We really challenged our scout special teams to give us great speed last week with coming off the bye. We kind of treated last week like a second opener, and I thought Marcus was the best of that group and did a terrific job. Two really special honorary captains for us this week, Kimberly Query and Lou Simpson. The Query-Simpson wing includes student-athlete development and our nutritional floor, includes our nutritional center, Nona Joe's, offices for our academic advisors, NU for Life, and professional development and compliance, and that's obviously a huge floor here in the Walter Athletic Center. So excited to have Kimberly and Lou with us for the weekend as we start Big Ten play against an absolutely outstanding opponent that we're going to have our hands full with. So with that, how about some questions, please?
What's the biggest change in Drake Anderson from last year? Is it simply that he got stronger?
Yeah, Dave, I think it's just opportunity. He was really close to playing last year. We actually, this game, we went up to Michigan State really not, sure where we were at yet. We were very unsettled at the position. You saw him get a little bit of time in that game. You saw Solo get, a bunch of reps. And then we go to Rutgers, and Isaiah kind of took it over, to his credit. So just opportunity presented itself, and he's ready. I think he's a big-time player. I think he's going to be a great player for us for a long time. And I told you guys at the start of camp, I felt pretty solid about that room. We just got to keep getting him experience. It's a really, really young room from an experience standpoint. So very, very happy for him.
Hey, Coach. Michigan State's up near the top of the rankings again on defense. What makes them so good? What do they do that other people can't do, or what do they do better?
I think it starts with their personnel. They've got all Big Ten players across the board at every position. They're well coordinated. They're on the same page. They play physical. They play great team defense. You very rarely see them ever beat themselves. They tackle incredibly well. And then they've got their change-ups that keep you honest to complement their base defense. And then they've got a great sub-package. And it's been the hallmark of Coach D'Antonio's program for a long time. And quite frankly, his DNA in his coaching career, he's one of the best coaches ever to coach our game for a reason. He gets his guys to play at a high level. They play just outstanding team defense. Ted, I'm just waiting on you. That's okay. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm waiting.
Okay. Talk a little bit about Hunter from game 1 to game 2.
Well, I think you saw a guy a lot more confident. Got a second experience. For the most part, except for the one throw in the red zone, took what the defense gave him. He didn't try to force things. And I think he learned from that rep a lot. I think he got a little greedy, try to play a matchup instead of play the scheme. And, their kid made a nice play. That's got to be an us or nobody throw regardless. So it was a little bit too far underthrown. But, I thought he had a great command of what we were trying to get done. I thought he was opportunistic with the football, running it too. And, they weren't sound in their pass rush lanes. He's got to do a better job of taking care of himself at the end of some plays. But I thought he did a nice job improving, and he's just going to keep doing that week after week after week. It's his second collegiate start. So, congratulations. Now you get the best defense in the country. That's your consolation prize. So he's got a lot to work on to get ready for this group, because this is as good as we'll see all year.
So this is the fourth straight year going to a game against Michigan State where they've been favored to win. Obviously, the first three have gone Northwestern's way. What is it about this team where they always show up against Michigan State?
Well, I think we try to show up against everybody. It's kind of the goal. I don't know. Nothing. I mean, you look back at, Coach D and I have been in the league now for a long time, and most of these games have been really close, I think, because we play although maybe not the same schemes, we play a very similar style of football, and I think that's why the games are so close. I think both teams are very disciplined in what they do and how they do things. I think both programs play team football, complementary football. I think both teams are really sound and smart in the kicking game. Coach has probably been a little bit more aggressive, better names for his trick plays than mine. His have seemed to work a little better than some of mine have worked. But he's just been a hallmark of consistency, from a leadership standpoint. You look at his staff, a lot of similarities, a lot of consistency in their staff, a lot of consistency in ours. So I think two programs that have won at a very, very high level. Obviously, they've got a couple championships more than we do, but, it's a program that we've got the utmost respect for. There's no question about that.
You talked on Saturday about their rush defense. How do you sort of attack that, especially with the injuries that you've had in the running game?
I'm just going to pray, hope it all works out. So, we're going to go practice and try to execute. They make it really hard. They're really good. They know exactly what they're doing and exactly how they want to stop you. And, we've got to try to find a way to get seams, and we got to try to find a way. We're going to be one-on-one. We're going to have to win, and because they're not going to allow you to outnumber them in any way, shape, or form in the run game. So, we're going to have to win one-on-ones, and that's, where they've been so good for so long. And, like I said, we've got a ton of respect for the way they play. And on offense, too, they move the ball at will. They just had some self-inflicted wounds like we did last week, and they put up a ton of points on Tulsa and on Western Michigan. But, last week they really moved the ball. Great, outstanding. They just had, like I said, some issues in the red zone and then some missed field goals. So we're going to have our hands full on that side, too.
Is there a goal then to make an offense one-dimensional?
Yeah, I don't think they hide that they're going to do everything they can to suffocate the run. There's no doubt about that, and they've done it so well for so long because they've got such skill in the secondary that they can go play press man, play, a quarter scheme, and then have complements off of it to where those corners and their sub-package DBs are going to be really aggressive and take away your skills. So it's, like I said, it's a well-coordinated, incredibly talented defense that plays as a team.
Fitz, would you like to see Hunter slide a little bit at the end of some of his runs? Does that concern you at all?
I'm going to put a neck roll on his shoulder pads and go back to the 90s and just truck people. Yeah, of course. He's played 2 games. There's a lot that we're going to work on, and he's going to learn. This isn't Brownsburg High School, where he could hit a seam and go for 70. It's Big Ten football, and sometimes you learn from being coached, and other times you learn from touching the stove. My hope is he doesn't touch the stove against the Spartans because they'll knock his lips off. So, maybe we'll reach out to Joe Girardi, see if Joe can come in and teach him to slide.
Fitz, what do you appreciate most about Jared Thomas, and how much can a guy like that help Hunter as he goes along here?
Well, Jared's been just outstanding here in the twilight of his career. First of all, his work ethic in the offseason. He's just an unbelievable representative of our program. Interns down at BTN, working the Big Ten tournament. He's got a bright future in that world. And so truly taking full advantage of everything the program has to offer and using it to prepare for life. But then he's involved in a lot of things here in the athletic department, on committees, same thing on campus. He's truly taking advantage of the Northwestern student-athlete experience. And then to see the way that he's played and the consistency that he's played with and the leadership that he's brought to the room and then to the offense, I think he's much more comfortable in a whole offensive leadership opportunity this year, where last year maybe he was a little bit just focused on the offensive line. Now he's much more comfortable in that leadership role, and just we're all really, really proud of him, and he's doing a great job. And like everybody in our offensive line this week, he's got his hands full. So he better sleep well, eat well, practice well. It's going to be a long day.
Hey, Coach, this is your, I think it's your 11th game against Coach D'Antonio. What's the chess match like year to year? Like, how much changes? How much is the same? You try to throw different wrinkles at him every year, you know, like when you have that much familiarity between the two of you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, and we'll see. It's kind of the same thing with Coach Ferentz here in a couple of weeks, right? Yeah, I mean, I think you can overthink a lot of those things. It's got to be about you. You got to, how are we going to execute? What our expectations are on the game plan, and then how are we going to respond in game? You know, you look at the things that they've done recently. You look at the things that they've done against us historically, and you try to do more from a game planning standpoint as coaches, projecting how they're going to use their pieces than maybe what they did in 2009, right? So you just have familiarity with each other, but at the end of the day, Coach D and I aren't playing, so it comes down to, you know, what we're able to put in, what we're able to coach up, and how our guys are able to execute.
Do you like jumping into Big Ten play a little earlier? Last year you opened with
Yeah.
a conference game. Now it's game 3, and you're already into league play.
This has been a really interesting year, right, from a scheduling standpoint with the bye and kind of 2 openers. It's kind of nice to get into a normal game week routine. This time last week I was in Ohio recruiting. So seeing 12-year-olds, I think that's where I was at. I don't know. Stuff's nonsense now. But no, I'll leave that for the other knuckleheads in my role throughout the country. But it's just great to get in a routine. And what I like to play Stanford now instead of week 1. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just as the way the games fall. And sometimes when you play teams, you're not getting them at their healthiest or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, every guy comes here to play Big Ten football and compete for championships. And so, again, I would wish we stayed at 8 league games. We decided to go to 9. I would prefer to go to 10. I don't like the 9 at all. I'd rather go to 10 and play 2 non-league games. I don't like the 9. The 9 just doesn't make sense to me. But, you know, it is what it is. And now we've got all these disjointed schedules. And it looks like it's going to be that way for a long time moving forward. I like the Big Ten opener. I liked what we had last year. I'd like to do that in the future. I'd like to play that game on Thursday nights, you know, especially if we're playing at home. I want to stay away from Friday nights if we can. And with us not being in school, you know, early, that opener in Big Ten play can give us a chance to have a marquee game. So I think the next few years we're on the road, if I'm not mistaken, Paul. I don't know. I know we're playing Michigan State this year, but there's a number of years now in a row that we're on the road, which I'm not very happy about, but that is what it is.
You don't like the 9 because of the imbalance, road versus home?
Yeah, and I mean, again, if we're going to go play Stanford, you know, we're all going to go play another Power 5 team. Why don't we just play more Big Ten games? I mean, I think that's what we all get in this league for. We want to play in the best league against the best coaches, against the best players, in front of the best fans, right? And so, not that trip to California wasn't great, but, you know, is there something more to be playing another team from the East, you know, every year? And I would be a proponent of that. Now, coaches aren't going to be happy with me because we'd much rather, again, play 8. We'd play 8 and 4. That was great. I would rather go back there. But I'm not a fan of the 9. The 9 doesn't make sense to me.
In a perfect world, Fitz, do you prefer to start games at 11 o'clock or 2:30 or night games? Does it make any difference?
I'd be cool at 9 a.m., but that's not going to happen now. So, yeah, 11 a.m.'s, you get up, wake up, eat breakfast, go play. You know, and you know, Saturdays can be long days when they're night games, especially. And then, you know, I got 3 boys at home, so getting a chance to be a dad on a Saturday night is something that I really enjoy. And hanging out a little bit for, you know, the one night of the week outside of date night on Thursday is something that I really enjoy. So Paul made my day today, letting me know I'll be home next week from Madison sometime around 7, 8 o'clock instead of 3 in the morning like it was at Stanford. So we'll enjoy it. But I'd kick every Big Ten game off at 11 if I had a vote. Yeah, we can start at 9. I'm cool. Doesn't matter. You can still get 9 holes in, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can get in early. You get the first tee time. You know, come right off the course and let's go.
Or I could play afterwards.
You could play after. You get
Twilight.
half the price.
Pac-12 actually started talking about a 9 a.m. game.
The Pac-12?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. Yeah, if they do, good luck. Are you going to wake your players up? I mean, you got it pregame meals 4 hours before, so you're going to wake the guys up at 5 to eat. That would be brutal. I hope they do. I'll use the heck out of it in recruiting against them because that would suck as a player. That would be brutal. Coaches would love it. We're up anyways. We don't sleep. But for the players, a 5 a.m. wake up on game day? Whew. Good. Please do it. I vote twice for the Pac-12 to do that. That would be great.
So if it's, you say Michigan State's going to suffocate the run. How much do you just pound the ball at them and try and establish the run, which you want to do, obviously? And where does the point come where, okay, they're stuffing us, we have to look for alternatives?
Well, I mean, again, you game plan each opponent specifically for what you think you can accomplish schematically, and then your matchups, right? And you try to have balance no matter what. You don't want to be in the same formation running the same plays over and over again, but you try to find, like I said after the game, every defense has kind of what their backbone is, and there's weaknesses to all that. Most teams do a good job of hiding that, having complements of that, disguising it. And Michigan State does a really good job of that. You think they're going to be in press cover 4, and then all of a sudden, here comes a Willie off the will backer off the boundary, and now they're playing three deep, and you got a guy in your face, or bringing a Mike, or bringing both the Mike and the Will and the A gaps. They do a really good job of mixing their run stunts on first and second down to keep you honest with their base defense. And then once they get you behind the chains, they get into just a sub package that creates a lot of protection problems, compounded by the talent level that they have. So, we to Louis' question, I mean, we know, historically what they've done, but that's one thing. It's the matchups that are the bigger problem. They've got, like I said, all Big Ten players across the board, and we're going to have to execute clean. We're going to have to be great with the football and be smart, and we're going to have them pick and choose no matter what we run. How we're going to do things, because they're going to try to make you play left-handed if you're righty.
Is it matchups just physically or matchups schematically?
Yeah, I would say everything. Yeah. I mean, they've done a great job. I mean, Coach D's entire time, they've had great players on D, great players across the board. O&D, I mean, outstanding. But their defense is second to none.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
Awesome. Have a great week. Thanks. Go Cats. Thank you.